Hello everybody, in this video we will cover organs of the head and neck region. So what organs are located in your head and neck? Well, of course your brain, that is not shown over here. So brain is not part of this video. Brain is located inside cranial cavity, and I will make separate video about it. But we're gonna look at organs of the respiratory system and digestive system. Mostly we have organs of respiratory system on this model, shown on this model, right? So what do we have? We have mid-sagittal section of the face and neck. Now this represents bones. Blue structures represent cartilages, right? Like this blue, this, right? And of course the covering is your skin, and yellow part represent cutaneous fat, subcutaneous fat. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin. So this is nasal cavity. Those are external nares, and we have a vestibule. So over here will be vestibule of the nose and then nasal cavity. Inside the nasal cavity you see three projections on the lateral wall. Those are called conchae. So you have superior, middle, inferior concha. Below each concha you have meatus, superior meatus, middle meatus, inferior meatus, right? This part over here is called posterior nasal aperture. Now this is frontal bone, and inside frontal bone you have this space called frontal sinus. This is sphenoid bone, and space is sphenoid sinus, right? Now this is a hard palate, then we have soft palate and uvula. Palate separate nasal cavity from oral cavity. Nasal cavity is part of your upper respiratory tract, and oral cavity is part of your digestive system. So here you can see lips, superior and inferior lip. Then you have oral vestibule, and then teeth and oral cavity. This structure over here is tongue. This bone is a mandible. This bone over here, hyoid bone. So nasal cavity, oral cavity. Tube over here goes all the way up to this point, is pharynx or throat. Pharynx can be divided into three parts. So this part of the pharynx up to the end of uvula is nasopharynx, because it is behind your nasal cavity. So nasopharynx. From the uvula to about this area, like mid part of the epiglottis, is oropharynx, and from mid part of epiglottis till the end of cricoid cartilage is laryngopharynx. Well, I guess I need to mention that this cartilage over here is epiglottis. This cartilage is thyroid cartilage, and this little part here and a bigger part on the posterior side is cricoid cartilage. Epiglottis, thyroid, and cricoid cartilage part of larynx or voice box. So this is larynx. So behind the larynx, you have laryngopharynx. Those are vocal cords. On the top, we have false vocal cords. On the bottom, true vocal cords. Also, you see we have, take a look. This is just a fat shown here. But in this area, you would have pharyngeal tonsils. Those are palatine tonsils. And in this area are lingual tonsils. Right? Those are tonsils, part of your lymphatic system. I'm trying to see if I forgot something. So if you move below neck region over here, this tube is esophagus, and anterior to esophagus you would have trachea. That is not shown on this model. So what else we can look over here? So those are our inferior meatus, middle meatus, superior meatus. So some very quick anatomical function of those meatus. You have drainage of nasolacrimal duct into inferior meatus. In the middle meatus, you have drainage from maxillary, frontal, and ethmoid sinuses. Right here we only see frontal sinus. And in the superior meatus, you have drainage of ethmoid and sphenoid sinuses. So here's our sphenoid sinus only shown. Also, this over here is called auditory tube. So auditory tube connects your middle ear with the nasal cavity. So auditory tube will end up in this area. And this is called pharyngeal recess. Also pretty important structure because it's a very common site of pharyngeal cancer. You have lymph nodes located in this area. Right, what else we need to cover? So you can see this is nasal bone, make a bridge of your nose, and this is a cartilage, hyaline cartilage, and this is actually fibrous tissue, just the most anterior part of your nose. Well, I think that's it. Well, those are vertebra, cervical vertebra, and between vertebra you have intervertebral discs. Okay. Thank you for watching. I hope it was helpful.